The following episode has been paid for by the New World Order. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 2, day 2 of this installment. Rex Christopherson at Rexo 1991's topic of the top 10 baby faces and heels. We gave you the heels yesterday, so today we'll give you the baby faces.
Yeah, I would have the heels second because I like the heels more, but you know, we kind of just went, baby face, you know, let the good guy have their ending.
Exactly, the happy Disney ending.
That's right, we're all about Disney at the end of the day.
So, number 10 on our babyface list is Mick Foley.
Good old St. Nichols, you know,
I mean, lovable goof that he is.
Yeah, and you know, even when he was Mankind, early on Mankind was an evil asshole. Mm-hmm. But like, once the Dude Love videos aired in 97, from that point forward, he's been lovable old Mick. Even feuding with Ric Flair in 06, people were like, okay, Mick, yeah, okay, sure, bud. Yeah, we still loved him.
Number 9, Rob Van Dam.
Rob Van Dam came into the WWF in 2001 as part of a gang of interlopers from ECW and WCW invading the WWF, and he still got cheered.
He was the only one in the alliance that didn't get booed.
Yep.
Because people have wanted to see him on the main stage full time for so long.
Rob Van Dam has not been jeered since 1997. And they wonder
since he was Mr. Monday Night.
Exactly.
Originally.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't get that nickname when he came to Raw.
No.
He had that name back in ECW.
Because he invaded Raw.
And because he was an afterthought at Barely Legal. Mm-hmm. It was like, Eric, Vince, I'll work Monday nights.
Exactly. And it just launched him. And he's been on a tear since. He can go away for 2 or 3 years and come back and not miss a step in the ring or with the crowd.
Yep.
He's good. And yes, he's my friend. I don't give a fuck. Okay? He's just good and he's a great babyface.
Yeah. Just for the record, Jeff didn't suggest him. I did.
Exactly.
Like I said, pretty much this entire babyface list, with the exception of 2 names, I think, maybe 3, were mine.
Exactly.
And the heel list, it was the exact opposite. Like 2 or 3 were mine and the rest were Jeff.
Exactly.
Number 8, one of Jeff's favorite competitors as of recent, but we're not talking about that era. We're actually talking about from ECW through the folding of WCW, and that's Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yeah.
Jr.
Yeah. Ray before Ray came to WWE.
Before he got big and needed 5 surgeries, maybe 12 by the time this episode goes out, on the same knee.
Exactly.
With the exception of a brief stint in the Filthy Animals when the Animals started, because after a couple weeks they were just so fucking over their faces anyways.
Right.
Rey Mysterio was never heel.
And he was good at being the underdog babyface.
He was very much Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, I will never take anything away from Rey Mysterio's ability or his ability to work a crowd as the underdog, ever. But since Eddie Guerrero passed away, I'm just over it.
Here's the silver platter, Ray.
Exactly. I'm just over it. I've been over it for almost 10 years now.
Yeah. Number 7, and before you guys give us shit as to why is he so low on our list, let us just preface this by the fact that neither one of us got to experience him in his prime. Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, I will fully admit, and I'll throw you under the bus, I argued for Bruno to be higher. But JJ set me straight, because when did either of our dads were kids when Bruno was in his prime? Your dad may be a teenager.
Yeah, my dad was like a teenager.
Yeah, because my dad.
So my dad was in the Navy in the late 60s.
Okay, see, my dad was, into his...
Born in 47, so,
Yeah, see, my dad's born 56, so when Bruno won the title, my dad was 7 years old.
Yeah, my dad was 23 in 1970.
Okay, well, there you go. There you go. Jerry Williams, who was old then. Poor bastard.
Love you, Dad.
Yeah, seriously, we're in trouble now. We're going to get shit for Christmas. It's all good. I cut you the Christmas gift. That's what had to happen there. I cut you the Christmas gift.
Won't be the first time.
No, definitely. That's why I said I cost you another one.
But Bruno is great. There's no arguing that. He's only not higher because when you started watching, he was on the outs with the company.
Yeah, he was feuding with...
He was maybe managing David Sammartino.
Not when I was watching, but yeah. WrestleMania 1 he was, but 1990 when I started watching, he was on Donahue speaking out about the evils of the WWF.
Yeah.
So it took until 2013 for him to appear on mainstream contemporary WWE television. That's why he's not higher on our list. And if you don't like it, you're on the wrong channel. Goodbye. Go ahead. Oh, wait. Cool. Okay.
Thank you for staying for those that did.
That's right.
Number 6, Bret the Hitman Hart. The excellence of execution, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
And with the exception of his early Hart Foundation days and his disastrous WCW back and forth heel face, heel face, heel face, in the WWF, there was no bigger a hero than Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah.
Bret defended the WWF Championship against all evils. You know, went to battle with his brother because his brother turns into such an evil little snot. You know, defended his country against the rest of the world. Defended the rest of the world against the evil United States of America. I think I was like one of 3 Americans. I was like, yeah, Bret, go for it. You know,
the videotapes I watched on this too.
Exactly, because you were post Screwdrop, so it's okay. Yeah, it happens.
He was already in WCW floundering by the time I started watching.
You saw Bret at his worst.
Hitman Hart Wrestling with Shadows was getting ready to air when I met him.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. But Bret was a hero, and he unfortunately didn't get to go out a hero in the WWF because he was vilified by Mr. McMahon, but Hitman Hart Wrestling with Shadows fixed that.
Big time. Big time. Number 5, Sting.
Now, people are going to shit on me for putting Sting above Bret Hart. With the exception of his early UWF days with the Warrior and a brief little oh, go ahead and turn heel, go ahead, we'll wait, in 99 against Hogan, Sting was the top babyface in WCW. More so than Hogan. And that's me saying.
Because he was WCW bred.
He was WCW. He was the franchise of WCW. It's been said time and time again on numerous releases, on numerous websites. And he was so popular with WCW that he was afraid that the WWF would ruin him if he signed with them. To this day, unofficially, as of this taping, again, we're Christmas in May, he has not officially signed with the WWE. He's made appearances on the network because his buddy the Warrior passed away. But the Sting character, not Steve Borden, but the Sting character has yet to appear with the competition of WCW and TNA. And yes, he was a heel in TNA as part of the Main Event Mafia, but let's be honest, he was a conscience of the Mafia. He was still a babyface then. So he's never been a full-on, full-fledged heel. And that should never change ever.
Number 4 is somebody else who never wavered, Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah. Ric Flair on his DVD that you used to have, that we've watched a couple times, the white cover DVD, it's called Ricky Steamboat, the greatest babyface of all time. There's your stamp right there.
But he's only 4 on our list.
So, Ricky Steamboat was every girl loved him and every guy wanted to be him. He was good looking, he was in shape, he was popular, he was sweetheart. The only time people kind of shit on him was when he brought his wife and kid into the picture. It's like, okay, we're not here to see Bonnie and Junior. We're here to watch you wrestle for an hour with Flair and beat Flair because he's evil. Like, go away, Ricky, with your goody two-shoes shit. But Ricky's great. I'm jealous of Beth that she's met Ricky Steamboat.
Me too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Number 3, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, the people's champ, The Rock.
And again, I got over The Rock hatred earlier this year as you're watching this.
Mm-hmm. 3 weeks ago in reality.
Right, seriously. The Rock was so convincing, was so hard to hate as The Rock that once the Nation disbanded, even when he was feuding with Mankind and feuding with Stone Cold Steve Austin, you could see it coming. And even when he turned on all of us and went to Hollywood and became Hollywood Rock in 2003 and feuded with Hogan and Austin and Goldberg, he was still entertaining and you still laughed in spite of yourself. That's a great babyface who turns heel on you more than once. And you still just chuckle in spite of yourself.
Yeah, it's like he turned heel when he joined the Nation.
And people hated him then, I'll give them that.
Came back.
Yep.
Turned heel at the Deadly Game tournament.
Yep.
And became the corporate champion, which is arguably his greatest heel run.
Yes.
But it lasted 5 months.
Yep.
Deadly Game 98 to Backlash 99.
Yep. Because the night after on Raw, he renounced Shane McMahon, and that was it. He was off to the races.
And he pretty much never turned back until he came back after SummerSlam 02.
Yep.
And he came back the Hollywood heel.
Yep.
The cocky, brash, arrogant.
But he was funnier than shit!
I was getting to that.
Sorry.
But he was so funny and enjoyable that you just... I don't like you, but yeah, that was good.
When the top heel in the company can put over the fucking Hurricane and not blank, it's fucking great, you know? Seriously.
And I still argue that Rocky should be number 2 over our number 2, but longevity is a huge thing. Number 2 is John Cena.
Yeah, okay. And again, I know you all love to hate John Cena. Most of you out there are going to be like, he's not number 2 babyface of all time. Bullshit. He is this generation's. He's our later generation's Hulk Hogan. He's the top babyface and the top wrestling company in the world. Period. Regardless of how many people say he's got the whole world in his hands 6 months ago, he's still fighting the good fight. Yeah. He fought the good fight against The Rock because The Rock left and came back, and John stayed, and he fought for us. I was the only fucking person in my circle of friends that was cheering for John Cena against The Rock the first match. The only one. And I didn't even have a regret about that. And I was fucking furious when he lost. Until he got the revenge the next year. I was like, okay, it makes sense. But John Cena is the most over fucking babyface since Hulk Hogan. I dare say more than Steve Austin, because like you said, Steve Austin was an anti-hero. John Cena is a white meat, purebred, honest to goodness little goody two-shoes babyface.
And the fans hate him for it, just like they hated Rocky Maivia.
Exactly. The difference is, Cena is still generating revenue. He's still generating butts and seats.
And as long as they target kids, they will.
Exactly.
But let the WWE go back to its true core market, because at the end of the day, it's people our age with kids that are buying the tickets, that are buying the DVDs, that are buying the action figures, the t-shirts, for our little kids to wear. But
see, think about it.
And you have to appeal to everybody.
But think about it this way. If your daughter was more into wrestling, would you honestly, in good conscience, buy her a piece of Bray Wyatt merchandise or a John Cena shirt? Honest to God, Jay.
I don't know. She did have both a Randy Orton and an Undertaker shirt.
Okay.
Just saying.
Right.
So, Bray Wyatt, not so far-fetched.
Well, but Bray Wyatt...
She had a John Cena chain gang onesie.
Right.
That was it.
Okay. All right.
And Cena still hated on her and didn't stop when we were out there.
I don't know why I brought Natalie up. I should have known better than that.
Number 1 should be no surprise, and that's Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan is one of the few that belongs on both lists that we've done this week. Because when he turned in 1996, there was no greater a bad guy than Hulk Hogan. Yeah. Strictly because he had been so good and just wholesome and pure for 12 years. More than that, if you had an AWA run. There was nobody in the history of the business. I don't care what Vince McMahon says about Stone Cold Steve Austin's popularity in the 90s. Nobody was more over as a pure, goodness sakes, babyface than Hulk Hogan. To this day, he can walk out as the guest host of WrestleMania 30 and get a freaking ridiculous standing ovation for hours.
If you don't believe us, watch the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Seriously. And that was 10 years ago almost. He's still getting that pop now.
He'll forever get that pop because he's Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
And I'm going to say it right here. Here's my whole argument for why Rock and Cena should be reversed.
Okay.
Hogan put over Rock. Rock put over Cena.
And the difference is, Rocky was able to adapt to Hogan being cheered. For all intents and purposes, Cena was the babyface going into their battle with The Rock.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be. And the people cheered The Rock by leaps and bounds. Granted, it was in Miami, so, of course. But still, you're right. Rock and Cena are back and forth. But nobody tops the Hulkster. At all.
Now, before we go ahead and wrap up, we have a couple honorable mentions we want to give to the babyface category, just like we did to the heels. Bill Goldberg.
And again, that one's hard for me to bite my tongue and be like, you know what? He was fucking over. People loved him. But they loved the fact that he was fighting the fight against the NWO. If the NWO hadn't been in WCW for him to counteract, and if they hadn't fed this streak to him, a lot different story.
Jeff Hardy.
Another one hard for me to defeat. And he even was going to pitch both Hardys and Lita as a team.
At Team Extreme.
And
granted, Jeff was over on his own, but when you put the three of them together, unstoppable.
But if you put them side by side and compare their lasting impact as a singles person, it definitely goes Jeff, Lita, Matt.
And that's a shame.
It is a shame. But Jeff was over by leaps and bounds compared to his brother and Lita.
The Sandman.
The Sandman could encapsulate a building for 20 minutes just walking to the ring.
There is no greater entrance, except for maybe the Undertaker's,
Than the Sandman.
than the Sandman's. Because as soon as Enter Sandman starts on the PA, you know, by the time he gets to the ring, he's drunk and bloody already.
That's right.
And the whole fucking crowd is singing along. Very much like they do Final Countdown for Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, Bryan should be on the babyface list, because Jesus Christ.
Hasn't had the impact.
I know. But Sandman, I was part of a Sandman autograph signing at Rob's store in 2006, and the entrance he made there, people were captivated. Sandman was always good.
And the last honorable mention for the babyfaces is the original People's Champ, Diamond Dallas Page.
Bang! The lone holdout. Even Sting joined the NWO. Page never, ever turned to the NWO. It wasn't until '99 when the NWO storyline had fizzled out and he formed the Triad and won the world title that he turned heel. He started as a heel in WCW with the Diamond Doll and feuding with, Dave Sullivan and Johnny B. Bad. But when he turned babyface, shit was on.
So there it is. There are our top 10 babyfaces. What do y'all think?
And our top 10 heels. We didn't really conclude the last show. I kind of stopped Jay because I wanted to make sure we had enough tape last night. So, what do you guys think? Who are your people we forgot on both the heel side and the babyface side? Because we want interaction. We don't just do this to talk out of our ass at you. We like to talk with you.
Exactly.
So what do you guys think? Did we forget somebody important? Is somebody too low? Bruno. Is somebody too high?
Hogan.
Bullshit.
Flair.
Flair's the heel. No, Flair's the heel.
Like I said, Flair Piper could be easily changed.
It depends.
And you can't argue me on
It depends what company you were a fan of. Honest to God. It really depends on your taste. Jim Crockett or WWF at the end of the day. That's it for the Babyface Heel Week. I am Jeff Meacham.
I am JJ Williams.
We will see you next time.